let's bring in SABC News reporter Katlego Legodi. Katlego, the president has officially opened the conference, among others highlighting the progress made around black ownership in the mining industry, moving from 2% in 2004 to roughly around 39% to date. What else did he have to say?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Mfundo, and to our viewers at home. President Cyril Ramaphosa really going through the domestic challenges that exist on the ground in terms of those challenges that the mineral sector or the mining sector has been experiencing over time, and that have also more or less affected the economy, not just of South Africa, but the economies of other nations as well on the continent that are doing business with the country here. He was frank about the backlog in terms of just the license issuing on the ground, in terms of how we've seen now the Department of Energy and Mineral Resources just moving to appoint a service provider where that is concerned. He was worried as well, Mfundo, today about the communities, mining communities that are not benefiting from some of the activities that we tend to see on the ground. So the country is really positioning itself to ensure that the disruption that is brought about technology finds meaning, and it gets all of these mineral companies and mining companies on the ground really more or less ready to embrace that technology. Most of them, you find them this afternoon in this hub where we're coming to you from the exhibition hub, where the conversations are taking place on the other side in terms of the formalities and the speeches and everything else. But also on the other side, we're seeing exhibitors that are here on the ground. International companies, local companies, budding mining companies that are here, also not wanting to be left behind. I'm going to bring into the conversation one such company. This is Datamine. We're joined by the Executive Director of Datamine for Africa, this being Mr. Chisonga, who'll just let us in on the work that you guys are doing on the ground. Technology, disruption, we're seeing you moving with the times and ensuring that the software where these mines are concerned. Tell us about your innovation, your company, and why really we find yourself here in this coming 4 days.
Definitely, thanks very much for the opportunity. And we have a wise choice of words there in terms of being real disruptors. Datamine is an international company. We've been around for 40 years, but here within South Africa, we've been here for at least 30 years. And in there, we support some of the biggest mining players in the South African mining industry, the likes of Gold Ashanti, Impala, Anglo American, as well as many others. We give one of the widest offerings in terms of software, because if you look at what we have in terms of exploration, geology, operations, planning, and these days, sustainability and ESG are big things, but also the intelligence that we apply to that, because data is nothing. We need to turn that data into information, and that's what we do as Datamine.
I mean, also coming through at a time whereby we're looking at the fourth industrial revolution, we're looking at capitalizing on technology. We have our own domestic challenges on the ground. President Cyril Ramaphosa also touching on some of those challenges that have hampered progress within this sector. Do you reckon that we are ready as a country, infrastructure-wise, where the embracing of technology within this sector is concerned?
I think the opportunity is right. So a lot of the mining companies, our clients, are on this journey, and we are determined to join them. For example, we provide technologies that offer them the needs that they need to take this a bit further beyond what they just have on the surface. So as the fourth industrial revolution comes, the companies are going to need data, but they're going to need the means to store it and manage it. We are ready for that, and we can provide not just the data, but also the platforms, the intelligence, as well as the analytics that take that from beyond what it is as data, but also so that the mining houses themselves can benefit from our offering.
How does this then, play around in terms of security? Because we know very well that where data is concerned, where the internet is concerned, there are also those opportunities that would come through to more or less, take away from the companies that are standing. So the threats, do we see your company also addressing some of those threats that we see in terms of software development?
It's a really good question. So cybersecurity is a key thing. And so our offering has two things. So on the one hand, we offer on-prem software, plug-and-play software, so that the client has the means to control their own data. But when it comes to data as a service, which we offer on the cloud, we give the clients the ownership of the data. So they can store the data on their own instance of a cloud hosting platform, such as Azure or Amazon. So where it is possible, we can host for them. But in terms of protection of information, we give the clients the means to use their own data on their own instance of the cloud. And as such, they can control their own cybersecurity. Because what we do, we realize that the companies have to take ownership. We're there to support them beyond just being a vendor, but also as a partner that takes them on this deep journey where they own their own data.
Let's put it to the test, Dr. Benny, because I see that you have the system here. Do we see it really being user-friendly? Do we see companies standing to benefit in terms of ensuring that we introduce technology and rope it into these mining companies? Just give us a little bit of a crash course.
So in the past, a lot of clients had silos of. So there are some data in exploration, there are some data in geology, and there are some data in operations. But when we give our offering, we give the widest offering in this suite. And the benefit to the client is that they can have an end-to-end solution. So they can have Datamine software from the one end in exploration, but they take it through to operation, to supply chain, to sustainability. And so when they report, they've got the means to have this as a sustainable option because the analytics are there, the data is there, and they have their own control in their own hand. So if we see what we do here, we provide the intelligence. And if you look at the exploration, the geology, the planning, yes, as well as the ESG wing, because that is key when companies report now. Because in the past, they would report, for example, on how they were using their water, but now they can report on carbon emissions, they can report on the CO3, they can report on many things that affect people. For example, here in South Africa, a key thing is BEE and its requirements. We're able to provide the clients the platform to do that. Because often they might speak to consulting companies and they might use such things as Excel, which are user-friendly, but in terms of data security, they are very limited. So we offer the technology and the platform for them to get an industry-grade software that allows them to be in control of their own data. And in that way, it's a one-stop solution, rather than data being in different parts, in silos and unprotected.
Dr. Benny Chisonga, thank you very much, sir, for your time. That is Dr. Benny Chisonga coming through as the Executive Director of this company, Datamine. So minerals, data, brought together, this is what they do. And you understand, it's getting heated this afternoon, Mfundo, because those crucial conversations are being held. There's networking that is happening here. All of these companies working to ensure that no one is left behind, where this particular 2024, 30 years of the mining indaba in Africa is concerned. Back to you in studio, Mfundo.